actually.
Or
6
sorry,
is picking
rather,
it up.
excuse me. I would have liked to see a rook. I'm not really sure why we're going with a no rook strat here, especially on a basement hold when you got things like the angle from the drop down in lobby straight down into the hallway. You've got that's pretty much they're shooting your feet, you know.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I think the only to me the first mind there the first option that comes to play when you see a castle is to kind of alleviate the blue room push, the construction push. Put one up against the wall facing outside, both walls into the hallway, and potentially just leave them in, kind of chokehold them
No, yeah,
out that
I can
way.
definitely see that, yeah.
That's the first thing that comes to my mind, but we've also seen it where they try to castle off the meeting hall in some areas to try to hold meeting hall.
Yeah, no, we've seen a couple of teams do stuff like that. Although, to be honest, in my opinion, yeah, no, it looks like they might be doing exactly that. Like you were talking about, they're trying to reinforce off meeting hall right now. I'm guessing what they're going to be doing is something along the lines of what we saw on Xbox last Monday. And
Yes.
yeah, they're going to be opening up the drops. They're going to be playing it from above. Probably going to have some heavy roamers going on. I theorized, or rather I implemented a strat like this in Season 1, and it did actually work out really well. You typically, you play like one guy in construction. He holds that, and pretty much, a guy in armory, a guy up in master, like one in maybe kitchen.
Here's the one up in master. We see Castle utilizing his wall here.
Exactly, yeah. And what he'll be doing, basically what they'll be doing is they're going to be doing what appears to be a heavy roamer strat, trying to throw off the enemy, because it's the opposite of what we were talking about earlier, where you have in the basement, you've got, it's really predictable. I mean, what are you going to do as a defender to try and mix it up and try to hold? This totally throws off the attackers.
Definitely. I would be thrown off if I was playing against these guys. But to start it off here, we're seeing, like you said, a bunch of roamers. 3 upstairs. It's going to be Doc, Castle, and Valkyrie. And Smoke is inside meeting hall. Jaeger, I believe, is the only one on site. And that's just going to be... They're playing 4 roamers, a 4-1 offset here.
Yeah, Jaeger, basically what he's going to be doing, like I said earlier, he's going to be denying construction. And then everybody else, what's happening is they're pivoting around what appears to be meeting hall, and they're going to try and just support each other as much as possible, try and get those picks. And then, obviously, once it comes right down to it, once they start getting pressured hard, they can just fall right through those drops.
Yeah, and we see Chaos over here inside of the small dorms, opened up the castle wall at that top floor, and trying to see if someone's in top of that attic right now, but it looks as though Valkyrie's going to pop outside of the armory, go down into the garage, and will catch Thatcher off guard, getting that first kill of the round and of the matchup here.
Yeah, that's pretty big. I mean, Thatcher getting out of the way, obviously, it's going to change a lot for the defenders. There's every possibility that they can start falling back now.
Yeah, and Marabou's making his way from the kitchen hallway. We see Blackbeard. Oh, and it looks as though Renshiro was able to pick up Narco, sorry. Chili is now coming into the main lobby.
And obviously that's Thermite out of the way. So Valkyrie just did her job and then some. She got rid of Thermite. There's pretty much nothing stopping the defenders from defaulting, but it looks like they're going to stay up a little bit longer. Yeah,
except they did open up those drop hatches, so they would need to secure the meeting hall just a little bit longer if they want to have a nice push towards the end. But looks as though 6 is going to drop and return back to safety with his buddy Yogurts. Last man up is going to be Falco. He looks as though he engaged a little bit of a fight, down to 50 health. He will retreat back down with the rest of his teammates. Now it's a 3-on-3. Capital is very much hurt, but he will pull out his smoke arrows, and he might be able to utilize some of those as Chaos and Blackbeard are going down towards the stairs. It looks as though Blackbeard, though, will be injured by Yogurts, and 6 Square is probably going to peek around and finish him off. Nope, there's going to be Yogurts. And Yogurts with a triple kill, finishing off Marabou, Chaos, and Chili. After he downed Blackbeard, not quite sure. He must have just peeked up at the wrong time, and there it was.
Pretty much everybody lined up for Yogurts there. That was pretty nice. Kind of a bait and switch. I mean, as soon as Valkyrie killed Thermite there, the round was pretty much over. They didn't have a whole lot of options on that attack, so yeah.
All right, so with that, we've got 10 seconds until they can finish choosing operators. But I'm getting a tick in my ear that says we don't have any in-game sound at the moment. So
which is kind of a problem. Just a little bit
of a problem.
Little problem. No sound.
Let's take a quick look at the audio here.
Oh,
no, audio is good. Audio is good. So we are going to have to cut to a short break, and we will get this round restarted. after we
playing
get the
Xbox?
audio back in.
Is this Xbox?
This is not Xbox.
Are you sure?
I'm 100% sure we are on PC. So we're going to take a short break while we get the audio fixed. We'll be right back, and we're going to most likely start this round back over for everyone here viewing us. So let me inform these guys. But other than that, guys, we're going to be right back. Stick around, and we'll be here.
Hello and welcome to the Rainbow Six Siege.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here to hopefully see the conclusion of the rest of this map between Yunktis and unKnights. Now, where we left off, Yunktis won the first map on defense, holding that bottom bomb site. It's now unKnights' turn, and we had to take a short break, fix some audio issues we were encountering, but we're back at it, have most of them in lobby right now. But from the glimpse that we saw from unKnights holding defense, what we saw them going basement. What do you think we can expect from their defense hold?
It looks like they were trying to do something, I'll say, along the same lines as Yunktis, although I'm not sure, obviously. I only got a glimpse of it.
Only got a glimpse, but seeing is, I mean, we saw some of them upstairs very briefly. Saw some going into meeting hall.
They were opening up from Skybridge into the master area. So, yeah, I think so. No, they're trying to do something along the same, pretty much the same lines as Yunktis. And again, it's an old strat, but it works. I mean, it gives your team so much more flexibility in that defense, because what are we dealing with the basement defense? So we're dealing with like 3 rooms.
Yeah.
So 3 rooms in a hallway.
But typically 2 rooms in the hallway. I mean, if you're going for one push, you don't worry about the closet in the back.
Yeah, if you don't count the closet, 2 rooms and a hallway. So there's not a whole lot of flexibility going on there.
Yeah.
But this obviously gives them more options, and it looks like we have everyone in the lobby.
We do have everyone in party, so we are going to start up the game. It's going to be unKnights starting on defense this time, finishing up round 2, because we had to take a break during that one. So, coming onto the map now, it is going to be unKnights starting in the basement is what we're expecting, because that's what they chose to start before.
Yeah.
So, as we cut on over, we do see Pulse making an appearance. Now, we didn't see him from Yunktis. A little bit of a different meta here. No Castle, but a Pulse instead.
Yeah.
No Doc and no Rook either. So, two teams both using a no Rook meta here.
So they're obviously, it looks like they're trying to get more flexibility, more roamers. I mean, that would come in line with the way that they're trying to play this site with the heavy roamer strat. But you know, obviously, for me, I'm still a proponent to Rook, but this makes sense. I mean, having Pulse, you know, maybe that's going to be their last guy coming into the site, you know, playing in the basement there, trying to hold construction, and also giving his team valuable information as to where Yunktis is trying to push.
Yep. Yeah, and although Pulse was nerfed and he was typically stood on the bottom of those stairs just saying, hey, who's in garage, who's in main lobby, he's still able to get a lot of valuable intel because it's only a few meters away if he's looking above.
I think a lot of people underestimate Pulse now after the nerf. I mean, obviously, he's a lot worse than he used to be, but in my opinion, he still provides, again, valuable information. You know, there's no reason not to use him. And this is interesting. We're seeing an upstairs defense
To start it off. And I think
Yeah.
kind of one of my mentalities that I've always liked to do is, you know, if you want to be the best team, you're going to constantly win, and that's what you're expecting. So start off with your second best map, because your second best bomb site, because you're going to have to play it anyways.
No, yeah, no, definitely right. It is going to throw off, too, because when you're talking about a team like Yunktis, what are they doing? They're picking for the bomb site you think you're going to be defending, because obviously certain operators are better in certain places.
Yep.
And what's happening here is they're kind of throwing off Yunktis. I mean, obviously, Yunktis might have different ideas for what they want to pick for attacking upstairs, and who'd have thought that unKnights would go upstairs first? I mean...
Yeah, I mean, we do see them pulling out a lot of the destructible operators, though.
Yeah.
We've got 6 grenades, we have Buck, we've got Capital, and we have Sledge, as well as Blackbeard and Thermite. So I think they chose a lineup that is good for a lot of...
It does look like they know that they're defending upstairs.
So could have just been from constant scrimming and playing these guys and watching VODs and figuring out how these individuals play.
Obviously, Yunktis puts in a lot of time into researching their... I know for a fact Yunktis puts a whole lot of time into researching the team they're about to play against. So that probably coming into play here.
Yeah, and so we see the attackers starting to take over the main floor, and they want to clear out from the lobby and move on into the kitchen. But as well, we're also going to see Blackbeard getting himself into the arsenal room. I'm sorry, into Armory, and Thermite as well. Now Thermite's going to open up this wall to the right side, and that's going to give Blackbeard a nice line of sight with a little bit more cover than he would if he was exposed in the hallway.
Yeah. No, definitely. And you can see from the defenders is also something to note is they do have 2 players playing downstairs. Now, obviously, I'm guessing their plan with this is basically, okay, well, they start coming in, they start pushing in, we start playing the vertical game. So what we were talking about earlier with grenades coming up underneath your feet, well, they're going to be doing the opposite, or pretty much the same thing, but with C4 and impact grenades.
Definitely. And so we have, like you said, two roamers downstairs. It's going to be Smoke and Valkyrie. And we're down here with 1:15 left to go. Still very little interaction between the two teams just yet on this round. But that's all going to change here in the next 30 seconds because we do have Smoke who's managed to make his way in the kitchen hall looking towards the lobby. And Blackbeard just rappelled down into the garage, potentially almost in the line of sight of Chaos here. But Chaos is going to retreat over towards the White Tower. Let's take a look over here at Buck, though. Now, Buck is going to be droning out from the meeting hall roof and gets into the middle dorms. And he sees no one there. I don't think he spotted Pulse, though, and Pulse is going to play a vital role. We also have Blackbeard moving on over, if we look over here, to the windows out by the shooting range. And that's out by the garden we were talking about. This is that garden push.
Yeah.
And we see, it looks as though Chili's going to be here, but Reaps is going to get spoken as Renshiro gets the trade onto Marabou. And then Narco throws the C4, lands it right onto Renshiro, and that's going to be no more Capital or Blackbeard. 6 Squared is going to try to get Reaps. He does. And Chaos also picked up Falco as 6 picked up his second kill onto Chili. It's now a 2-2, 15 seconds left to go. Diffuser in the hand of Sledge. And now the roamers need to come back to sight. Chaos coming up those back stairs, gets the 1 kill, goes for the second. He gets the second kill, almost. But it will be from behind. Narco picks up the kill onto Yogurts.
Wow.
a little bit too chaotic there for Smoke to get that second kill. A little bit of sporadic, but it's able to be picked up by Valkyrie coming in through the master bedroom.
Unfortunately, I don't speak French, so
Nor do I.
I have no idea what they're asking of us. Obviously, they have a question, but yeah, no, that attack round, or that round coming out from, looks like we're going to be doing a rehost. That round coming out from Yunktis on the attack was kind of weird. They seem to be playing from like all different ends of the site. And that C4 from Valkyrie all the way down in the basement was honestly really impressive.
Yes.
That was beautiful to see. They got rid of that Blackbeard on that window, pretty much debunking that whole attack. And obviously Thermite did get the wall open from closet into the bedroom, but
They also pre-opened that as well. I mean,
oh no,
they
you're right.
opened up one. They closed off one
Yeah,
side,
no,
but
you're right.
pre-opened the other.
I'm wrong.
And then Pulse actually escaped there and just decided he was going to sit on the back stairs.
Yeah, that was an interesting way to play that site for the defenders. Really open, really loose. A whole lot different than what we've been seeing in the past. Typically speaking, what you'll see is from the defenders is, okay, they'll try to turtle, they'll try to hold that wall, and maybe C4 underneath when Thermite goes to open it.
Yeah.
But we didn't see that. We didn't see anything like that. We saw a completely open strat coming out from the defenders, 2 roamers in the basement, or not on the basement, but rather the first floor, trying to deny those grenades from underneath, and then equally deny the bomb plant. And it worked out. And yeah, it was, I don't know, it was a good strat. I like to see the way they defended that.
Yeah, and so guys, with that, we are going to cut to a short commercial, or short, just break, not commercial break. We don't have Jason Bourne with us, unfortunately. But we are going to be right back after a few moments while we get the lobby rehosted due to one of the bugs that had happened previously on this map. So stick around, guys. We'll be right back to hopefully finish this map.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here trying to finish off the first map between Yunktis and unKnights. Now, unfortunately, the first restart was due to us not having a little audio issue.
Yeah.
The second one, there was a bug inside of the wall between the kids' room and the bedroom by the A-bomb site. And basically, we experienced that before where you try and open it up and it rubber bands you back and you can't go back and forth in between that wall. So that's what this last rehost was for.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that could have actually cost Yunktis the round. It makes more sense with the way they were playing it. If they couldn't get through that wall, makes a whole lot. Like I understand why they were playing the way they were playing. They were kind of coming at it from weird angles. It didn't make a whole lot of sense. They were trying to address it from all the different ways you can. But obviously, if you can't get through that wall, that's pretty much debunks the whole attack.
Yeah, and we've seen, actually, in the round that it did happen in and they rehosted, we've seen where it won the game for the defender coming back on site.
Absolutely.
So it is much needed. It's not just, a hole in the wall so I can peek through the mattress.
Yep.
No, it's an avenue to get around and cause flanks and cause some chaos.
Yeah.
So definitely something that we're hoping will be fixed in the future.
Yeah.
Or won't happen again. But,
at least.
Yeah. So with that, we have 2 more members still remaining to come in. Now, what do you think was the mentality behind unKnights choosing that top bomb site instead of the bottom? We talked a little bit about how I feel, but everyone's got their own different thoughts.
You know, I think you're right. I think they're just basically trying to play what they can play, but it's entirely possible, and this is not a whole lot of people don't think about this, but it's entirely possible that unKnights, they prefer the upstairs bomb site. I mean, that's easily something that you can that exists. Because, for example, on one of my old team Orbit GG, when we were playing in season 2, I know for a fact on Hereford, one of our favorite maps, we actually like to defend first floor before we defended basement because we figured, well, we just like the openness of it. But that's just an example. You know, I'm guessing it just really comes down to unKnights feel like, okay, we've got a strat that really works here. We're super comfortable with it. We know what we can do with it, and it just fits our play styles. So we may as well go upstairs first. There's no reason not to. If it works for you, it works for you, and it's all personal. So
yeah, definitely. And so, again, still waiting for the remaining members to join in. We've got 1 left to come before we get on with the map. Now, bomb sites, or we've talked enough about bomb sites.
Right.
Let's talk about players and operator selections. So we saw a little bit different choice between how unKnights chose their operators and Yunktis did for their defensive selections. We saw a Doc on 1, no Rook on either. Saw a Pulse make an appearance. Now, your thoughts on the selections?
My thoughts on the selections, is they are really interesting. They have a lot of ideas, I'm guessing, with what they're doing, and obviously there's some sort of plan behind every single different pick. I mean, you can't really look at a team like Yunktis and be like, oh, that doesn't make any sense. There's no logic behind that reasoning because they are one of the more logical teams. So I'm guessing, you know, everything has a plan. And we saw from Castle, I think, on the first defense for the basement, actually ended up doing a whole lot of work because they were doing the roamer strat.
Yeah.
You know, you wouldn't see it on a super turtle basement strat. You just wouldn't. It's not something you'd expect. But
yeah, and one of the things that I think a lot of people tend to forget is that these pro players are some of the best meta changers in the game.
Yeah,
they're the ones that create the meta for teams to follow after.
Yeah, and this game. This game is one of the most flexible games that exists.
Yes.
Like, I mean, you could just pretty much do anything as long as nobody expects it, doesn't know how to counter it. It will probably work. So when you've got something like that, an old strat coming from season 1 with the heavy roamers, people don't expect that.
Yeah.
You know, people don't know how to handle that necessarily. So I really like what they've been doing with it.
Yeah, and so I don't want to see any operator off the table here because
of course
these are the teams, these are the players that should be creating the meta for other teams to follow.
Yeah.
And seeing as how they execute it so well, I can see other teams picking this up, starting to utilize them in the Go 4s, utilize them in ranked, and just practice them and get them working.
Absolutely.
So with that, we are in the lobby right now. We are seeing the operators selected, and we're going to get underway here with round number 3, as unKnights and Yunktis have each taken a round of their own. So it is 1-1 at the moment, and we're going to have unKnights starting on attack side.
So this is interesting. It is 1-1, like you said, but unKnights kind of have the advantage here because they are going to be able to, right now, what's happening? They're going to be attacking either upstairs or kitchen, probably upstairs, looks like. And given that information, and unKnights is going to be able to then go ahead and defend basement. So they're coming out of an advantageous attack straight into an advantageous defense. So this is pretty dangerous for Yunktis. They're putting themselves in a really bad position here.
Yep.
So it's we'll see how this happens, or see what works.
Yeah, and so, as you said, it's going to be Yunktis choosing the top bomb site, making it a more problematic defensive site to hold.
Yeah.
through.
Now what I'm really interested to see. Now, obviously, I've seen that strat before on the full roamer on basement defense. What I have not seen is a full roamer strat on the upstairs defense, and I've never seen that wall open in the closet. Now that surprised me. I kind of got
From
thrown
the
off
last
a little
round of
bit.
unKnights?
Yeah, from the last round of unKnights on that defense. That was, and I kind of want to see how Yunktis is going to handle this. Like, what are they going to do now in order to defend this bomb site? Because it is, again, like we said, a difficult one to defend.
Yeah, and so let's take a look over here at 6, who looks as though he might try to peek out towards the front, but we don't see any attackers starting out there. So that's going to be no kill for 6 just yet. But as we get underway, Spoken's going to lay down a little bit more barbed wire. Some Valcams outside and some good placement. It did spot Marabou, and I'm not quite sure Marabou spotted it back. But we'll have to stay tuned to see if that's going to pull some valuable intel for the team.
You know, what's interesting is they also did not reinforce the closet wall, but they haven't opened it yet. I'm guessing maybe that they're going to try and utilize that closet wall with the C4 so that basically it's another way you can deny a thermite, but in the way that you will kill him. You're going to open the wall. You're going to throw it on the wall when he tries to plant that thermite, but he will die in the process, so it kind of makes it worth it.
Yeah, and we saw just from that Valkyr cam that Yogurts was on, he knows that Thermite's up inside of red. So I would expect to see at least one of the defenders rotate around and potentially get into a spot. And we can see Pulse underneath, ready to go for the flank on Thermite, who he's been called out, get rid of Thermite because he's one of the biggest assets to the attackers.
Yeah. Now, Pulse is pretty far away from the action here, trying to gain some information on attack from Watchtower side.
Yeah, and looks as though Marabou was able to pick off Valkyrie. And he's going to throw up a drone, get some more intel before he starts pushing up that way. The barbed wire is also gone. It's going to be a nice, clean entry point up to the top of those stairs for their push.
Yeah, and you can see here that obviously they've ashed from underneath. They really wanted to clear out that area to give themselves access.
And Buck also doing the same, but underneath and from the kitchen ceiling.
Yeah.
And again, this is what you were talking about earlier,
The
just
vertical
getting
game.
rid of those angles, playing that verticality game.
Yeah.
But Pulse is still underneath of everyone, coming up from the flank from behind. Oh, I don't think he realizes Thermite is still there. There, he spots him now. But that device is going to give him away. Narco's already looking. There goes the C4. Goes for it and gets the shot. C4 explodes right onto Thermite. And I don't think Falco knows exactly who that is just yet, but he heard the window get broken open, and now he's going to retreat back downstairs. That's going to give the attackers one more thing to pay attention to.
Yeah, you can see Falco playing some mind games there. He's like, okay, I've killed your thermite all the way over here on the other side of the map from the bomb site, and now you have to pay attention to me. And he didn't even stay. He didn't even bother. He's like, all right, I'm out. Peace.
Yep, and Reaps, though, gets the shot from Kitchen right into Yogurt's feet and picks him off. Now it is a 4-3. 30 seconds left to go. Buck gets shot from behind as Pulse comes up the
Falco.
stairs, and Spoken will also get the shot into Marabou. Now it's left to 2v3. Chili, inside of White Tower Chaos, has made his way outside of the A bomb site. And he's waiting for backup from Blackbeard, who's going to be coming up right behind him. 15 seconds left to go. Diffuser in hand for Blackbeard, although he decides to drop it. And Ash was able to pick it up. Now he's going to hold on to it. Blackbeard picks up one. Can he pick up two? He's going to look left. He turns around. And he does see Doc. Doc's on the left side. He's going to try to shoot through the mattress. Falco picks up the shot into Chaos, and it will be the defenders winning because the diffuser did not get planted in time.
You know, I do not know what happened there, to be honest. I'm not sure why Ash did not stick that plant. Maybe she got bumped off it from the wall. I'm not sure.
I think she might have got spooked by Blackbeard firing and decided, let me look up to try to help out.
You know, this is the Pro League. You gotta trust your teammates. If that was the case, you're not engaging the enemy when you're planting the bomb. You are trying to get the bomb down. As long as you get that down, it's now a 2v1. But Blackbeard has the favor there. He's got his shield. All he has to do is deny the bomb plant. He can go on the other side of the roof. You know, as long as the bomb goes down, it's in your team's favor. I'm not sure what happened there.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, he's got his bomb, he's got his shield, he's got his window, he's got his full health, and he's got the angle.
So many options, but unfortunately, this is what you were talking about earlier with the mute, and unfortunately, again, Thatcher does not catch that. So if you try to throw a Thatcher on the lobby, most of the time, I think it might just just barely hit the range if you get right on top, but I think most of the time it honestly just doesn't.
Yeah, and some of other strats that we have seen to try to get this open has been trying to blow the sidewall here, and that also gets that drop hatch using a thermite charge.
Yes, absolutely.
Which, to counter that, we've seen some defensive teams just blow open the wall.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen that, but that's a really good idea.
It's almost like the ways to C4 to save Mute's jammer, and I think that's a beneficial tactic that we've seen here in the past.
Definitely.
But as we get underway here in the attack phase, we do have 2 roamers. Looks as though Chaos is going to play upstairs again, right on the other side of the attic, and Narco sitting inside a meeting hall. So with the 2 roamers now both inside a meeting hall, they're going to look to cover each other. One looking towards the back, one's looking towards the front.
This looks like a more conservative version of what we were seeing earlier from Yunktis. They are playing meeting hall, but they're not playing super stretched out like Yunktis. Yunktis was playing one guy on the site. Yunktis was like, all right, we going for it. Let's do it. And on the other hand, unKnights, they're trying to play it a little bit safer, looks like. They're trying to control meeting hall, and they're trying to control the site in the way that you normally would.
Yeah,
because you don't really need you don't need more than 3 people to defend that downstairs basement.
Yeah, and Six was able to get some very valuable intel there with his drone, and Castle didn't spot it, didn't hear it, didn't do anything, so now he knows it's just right through the wall. You're going to try to see a wall bang right here from Six. And so we're just going to stay tuned. He's actually going to call it out to, I believe, Blackbeard. Is Blackbeard inside? Not just yet, but he will be in just a moment. I want to see who we can get here. It looks as though Six is going to come for the wall bang. Goes for the shots, lands and picks him up. There's the shot from Chaos.
That was right on.
I'm sorry, not from Chaos, from Six.
That was beautiful from 6 quarter.
Beautiful, beautiful shot. All right, and with that, Red Tower is now in the hands of the attackers. And let's see what's happened to Valkyrie. Valkyrie's managed to make her way over to the kitchen as the rest of her teammates are downstairs. Now Narco's rotating upstairs. And this is where a little bit of mind game comes in. We saw the attackers trying to clear out as much of the top floor and as much of Red Tower as possible. But now Narco's on the other side.
Oh, is Narco going to get the jump on this guy?
He's going to take a peek, going to look on through. And it looks as though it might be a Sledge on the other side. Let's take a quick look at Sledge. He's trying to open up the wall. He drones it. He spots Valkyrie. He's going to pre-fire the wall. Valkyrie gets out of there, just barely missing bullets to her face. And that's going to be just another engagement later to happen another day. And Six is retired back downstairs to the bunker entrance. Wall will get opened up. Capital's going to make the push in. Renshiro's coming down those back stairs. It's now Red Tower and construction push. This is going to be that secondary push we were talking about.
Yeah, this is a little bit more standard. They got the pick on meeting hall, but they didn't force it out. They had the advantage. They could have seized it. They could have tried for the drops, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense when you really think about it. So they're like, all right, we got this advantage. Let's just take it down to the basement.
Yeah, and it looks as though Buck was able to push in. There's only 2 defenders on site, and Renshiro was injured in the process. Falco now trying to push down those main halls. It gets smoked off. Yogurts is going to be in the attic, trying to come in from behind, and it's Yogurts picking up Reaps. Looking on down to Capital. He gets picked off as he tries to go for the plant. Spoken gets his own teammate, and Marabou picks up the shot into 6. Renshiro trades it off onto Narco. Marabou then also gets 2 more kills, getting Renshiro and Yogurts for the win.
That was absolutely robbed from Yunktis. That was beautiful by Marabou. Unfortunately, one friendly fire coming out there from the fire arrow. You know, it happens. There's like we've been talking about, there isn't a whole lot down there. You know, there's not a whole lot of room to breathe. So when you get the whole team from Yunktis coming in, they're trying to put pressure this angle all at once, and one guy gets overlooked in the corner there. That was Marabou. And that's what I was talking about with the unexpectedness, by the way.
Yep.
And he just mopped up. He had the right utility, the right kit to just go ahead and lock that out, and that was really beautiful, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of it came down to the last few seconds, and the attackers just had to push in, and they hadn't finished getting all the intel they needed.
Yeah, I think what happened maybe is they made that call to switch back to a construction take a little late, just a tiny little late. I probably would have liked to see it probably 20 seconds earlier. Right as soon as they got that pick on Castle, I think what I would have liked to see is, okay, we got the pick, we got the advantage now, let's just go do a construction take. There's no need to do anything else. This was the guy watching construction from above on that drop down in the meeting hall. Let's do it, let's go.
Yeah, I think Valkyrie on last round played a vital role in just preoccupying all the attackers.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, she found almost every hole in where they were pushing in from and was able to just, hey, I'm over here, get away. I'm over here, get away.
Yes.
She was doing a very nice job.
No, you're right. No, the smoke definitely locked it out, but the Valkyrie also pretty much wasted that extra amount of time that we were talking about.
Yep, and so as the round starts, Renshiro opens up the window, but is too late, not going to try to go for the peek. But she is going to stay up top.
And we're seeing the same exact defense. Looks like they're going to be sticking with what they know here for Yunktis. I like this angle. You can see that angle they're opening up right there. That's going to be trying to use to hold the watchtower, which is, it's a really nice one. There's a whole lot of different ones you can do through that wood wall, basically to hold the watchtower from either Skybridge or Meeting Hall, but I like that one. I haven't seen that a whole lot.
Yeah, now 3 full defenders are going to be upstairs with Yogurts, again, playing downstairs by himself, just getting on cams, watching as much as possible. And Doc's going to try to get a peek. He gets the shot onto Reaps, though, from the red tower. He's going to heal himself back up. Looks as though he took about 40 damage. And that's going to be 6, retiring back downstairs.
That was a pretty beautiful shot from 6. And you notice something to notice here with these Valkyrie camps, by the way. They're not planned. Those are okay. Yeah, they know where they need to have the Valkyrie cams. They know what they need to see. Most of them. The ones on the outside, though, they're just they're like, all right, well, let's throw it out there. Let's throw it out there because these spots. I mean, Valkyrie's been out for a long time now. Most people know where pretty much the common spots are.
Yep. Oh, and there, Spoken escapes with half his health. Ash is coming in from the kids' dorm. Nades are going to go flying. They now have him trapped inside of the attic. Chaos is going to finish droning out master bedroom so that it is clear for Blackbeard to move on in. And with that, they're going to try to push onto Castle. Now, Castle, again, still right here, trying to see, hey, should I stick here and fight? We're going to see. Chaos tries to make a push in, but the smoke grenades come. Blackbeard turns around, picks up Renshiro, and Marabou gets a shot onto 6. Now it's all up to the remaining 3 defenders. One's upstairs in the attic and stuck. Jaeger is downstairs trying to fight Capital. Chaos finally picks up the shot onto Castle, and it is now up to Yogurt. Oh, not looking good for him. Fallen. Last one alive. He's not even on site. He's inside the meeting hall. Tries to get the shots onto Ash. He does. Down her. Gives her plenty of time to say, all right, there's going to be the drop. It's going to be a push from the back. Falco's going to try to make a push on in here. 3-on-1, 45 seconds left to go. Diffuser does go down in the attacker's favor right now. We've got Chili upstairs in the drop hatch. Narco's going back to the main stairs. And we also have Capital right inside the laundry room. So let's take a look at Falco. Respots Thermite, but Narco picks up the shots onto Falco and finishes him off, giving unKnights the win.
Now you saw from there, unKnights, they trapped Castle in the Skybridge. Unfortunately, they did not have a way to get out from the back end into Watchtower, so that wasn't an option. And given that, pretty much eliminated one person from the whole thing. And while that was happening, everybody else just kind of lost engagements. There was an unfortunate spree of lost engagements on Yunktis' side. There was Capital kind of outplaying that Jaeger in the basement with that fire arrow. It's like, okay, I can engage you, I can fight you, but I don't have to. So let's go ahead and not.
Yeah, so with that, it's going to be unKnights taking the lead, 3-1. Now, they can secure this next round. We'll go into match point, and we'll see how the rest of the map goes underway. But speculation-wise, it seems like it's been going back and forth between the 2 teams.
Well, to be honest, this is securely in unKnights' favor.
We'll have to see. They are holding the top bomb site, but they did it successfully. So don't count them out. I mean, this is, again, the harder bomb site in most people's eyes to hold. So them starting out with it and returning back to it, I'd like to see them do it again.
Yeah.
But as we get underway here, let's take a quick look at the general setup. It looks as though Marabou is going to be stationed inside the master bedroom. Now, we've got 4 of the defenders. So let's head on over and take a look. I believe it is, we have here, Narco. So Narco's moving on over. Let's take a look at him. He's got 0 castle walls left. He's put them all up. Now he's going to open up the kids' room in between there and the A bomb site. Taking a look over at Chaos. He's now playing the role that it looks as though we saw Pulse do before. So now he's coming down here and going to look for a peek outside. No one's going to come in through this tunnel, though. And Renshiro's already managed to make his way over here to the window outside of the dining hall roof.
Yeah.
Shots are going to go in. He spots Marabou. Marabou just twiddling his thumbs. He picks up a second kill, and Chili just goes down right after his own teammate. Renshiro picking up the double headshot there. And I believe that's just going to be, that might just turn the tides, and it's going to be all up to the remaining 3. Chaos nowhere near bomb site at the moment. All up to Narco and Reaps. Now, Reaps is the only one within reach of the bomb site here because Narco is trapped. He can't go through the doorway or else that's going to be right in line of sight of Blackbeard.
No, that was just Yunktis, right place, right time. Obviously, they were trying to get to that window as fast as possible, see if they can cut it off, and it worked out beautifully.
Definitely. So, again, Reeps is still stuck right here. Let's take a look over at Blackbeard. He's still outside on the window. Falco, though, is inside of the red tower with Thermite. They're going to try to make their way across the hall. And he peeks in through the window. Doesn't see anyone just yet. And he will not see anybody because there is no one in there at the moment. Renshiro's going to finish droning it out for his team. And I wouldn't be surprised if 6 just decides to hold this angle, make sure that attic is all clear. Well, it looks as though there's going to be a push into the kids' dorm, though.
You know, I like what I'm seeing here from Yunktis. They got 2 picks early on, but they didn't just, they didn't just go, okay, we won this round, let's go ahead and push. They're playing it nice and safe and slow.
Yep, and so with that, Renshiro's calling it all out, clear for his team. And he's also going to hold on to the window. Now they're able to manage to make their way in. He hops on through. Falco doesn't have diffuser, though. It's going to be Spoken. Coming in, trailing the pack here. Will get the plant down from under, or from above. Now 6 comes on in, tries to get the flank from Kitchen. Let's take a look over here. He picks up almost onto Narco. Narco, though, trying to fight it off. 6 knows he's there. Moving on over to Reaps. The diffuser was planted. Chaos picks up the shot onto Yogurts, though, trying to trade him off and make it more even. Chaos is now inside of the attic. Doesn't spot anyone on the window, but he will see Blackbeard, though. He flicks up, gets the shot from Chaos, and now 6 is going to be getting Narco. Renshiro, though, 4K that round for Renshiro. 2 at the very beginning, 2 at the very end. Very nice job by Blackbeard.
Yeah, that was beautiful play from Renshiro. That smoke in the sky bridge just barely snapped, just to the, I think it was the left of his head. It was pretty close, but Renshiro ended up coming up on top. Again, from Yunktis, the caution exerted there, that was beautiful. They didn't count their rigs too early. They just they took it slow. They're like, all right, let's do our normal attack. Let's do what we know we can do here, and let's just get the bomb plant.
Yeah, and so with that, it's going to be top bomb site chosen by Yunktis. And it's traded off. It's now 3-3. They were able to come back, tie it. So, they're going to hold it? They're going to not hold it? I mean, the first time unKnights held it,
yes.
it was a lot different of a hold than we saw when Yunktis decided it was time to hold this bomb site.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so when Yunktis was defending this site, it was pretty much Falco did a great job of distracting them last round. Now, what I'm interested to see here is Falco going to be able to do that same job again? Because unKnights, they know how Falco plays. Obviously, pretty much everybody knows how Falco plays. And they know specifically how he plays on this bomb site. So are they going to fall for that trap again, or are they going to go ahead and not? I mean,
yeah.
Are they going to focus their attention all the way on the site, which they can technically do? I mean, there's no reason. Roamers on this map, maybe not so big a deal, especially when you're attacking the upstairs, as long as you can deny that flank through the kitchen hallway. But I don't know. I'd like to see how this plays out, honestly, with Falco.
Yeah, and 6, actually, last time he was playing Doc, he got a peek out from Red Tower towards Garage.
Yeah.
He's on the other side of the map now, inside of Armory. So, looks as though he tried to go for a peek, but didn't actually manage to get anyone.
You know, I think once he's established, okay, I've got to peek out, I got to kill with that. What happened? You know, it didn't work out for the attackers. I think he's established for them, you need to pay more attention when you're advancing on the building. You know, you need to really understand that, yeah, I can kill you, and it's going to happen. So the fact that he's got that mentality going on for the attackers right now, that's all that matters. He doesn't need to peek out anymore. He's done his job.
Yeah, Yogurt, though, with the early kill onto Chili. And so Reeps, Thermite, and 6, though, picks up the second kill, Marabou, though. So with that, we have 2 out of the 3 remaining attackers are going to be going into Red Tower, and I think the last one is going to be Chaos. He's inside of showers trying to look at the main hall. I think Jaeger poked around right at the wrong time. Nope, he decided he was going to retreat around. Chaos, though, taking quite a bit of damage inside of the kitchen here. Now, all defenders have retreated. They're back on site. They've condensed themselves. They said, just like before when they were readjusting, they got too early kills, they readjusted and decided to come in a different way. They're now doing the same thing on defense. They've gotten 2 early kills. Now it's time to retreat and formulate another plan.
Yeah.
So with that, Narco, again, he rotated around from Red Tower, moving on over. Looks as though he's going to try to get into the kids' room. Renshiro, though, trying to kill off Chaos and says, nope, you're not going to get me from underneath.
So that's a beautiful angle right there. We talked about grenades from underneath, and that pretty much denies that whole hallway. Oh, no.
He almost spots Thermite and almost gets him, too.
That was close. This is a good angle coming out from Inshiro. Pretty much denies the bottom of those stairs.
Yep. That, like you said, very nice angle to hold. You can tell they've practiced this map. They've opened up the floors and identified where to go in. Falco, though, trying to finish off. He does get Reaps. Narco, though, not going down without a fight. Picks up one. Doc's going to try to make a push in here to the left. He's going to turn the corner, but Narc's there. Misses the shots, though. Doc's just going to play a nice, steady roll, heal himself back up, potentially. He goes for the pistol shots. Doesn't get him. He tries to wallbang. Not going to hurt him just yet. 30 seconds left to go. It's got to be Narco making a push. But from the left side, oh, I'm sorry, Six picked him up with that pistol shot.
Nice.
Just a nice wallbang after 2 or 3 magazines unloaded through the wall.
Wow. And you can see from Narco there, his plan was, all right, you know what I got to do now? I got to kill all 5 of them. Let's do it. Let's go.
Yeah. You can tell he had that Rambo mentality. He got one. You know that he's not going to get the diffuser planted. He's got to go for all 4 kills. So, unfortunately for him, it didn't work out in their favor. Yunktis takes the lead here 4-3, and it is match point for them.
Yeah, no, totally got soundly turned around there. And we're going to be seeing another no rook but Doc strat coming out from unKnights.
Yeah, this is almost the setup that Yunktis started out with in the basement. They chose no rook, they chose a castle, they chose a dock.
Definitely. I think
very similar.
I think the way unKnights was playing upstairs was they were playing with the Pulse. And now, so that's the switch up. If they took Pulse off, they put Doc on.
They also had a Frost, too, when they played
Did they?
top 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a Frost because they didn't have Doc, they didn't have Castle.
Wow.
So they picked up Pulse and Frost with those operator selections. So, again, very different operator selections, but I like that because then that means, to me, that shows they're thinking about how best to hold the bomb site, not what operator do I work best with.
Right, definitely. And there are a lot of teams and a lot of situations where you have, okay, I don't want to play that operator.
Yep.
Just players who just like, you know what, I don't want to make that change because I don't feel comfortable with that. And it's understandable, obviously. You know, some people just aren't comfortable with transitioning between operator every different round, but that's the way this game's played. That's the way you need to play it. That's the best way to play it. I mean, like, you have to have flexibility in a game that is incredibly malleable.
Yeah, and like you said, this game, at the very start, you said this game is very flexible. You're going to see a lot of strat. You're going to see a lot of... And I love that about this game because there's not one set of operators that have to be chosen to make the best team.
In my opinion, that's what makes it one of the greatest esports in the world.
Yes, agreed. So, moving into the attack phase, we see Falco droning out the red tower. He's going to clear it out, move on in, and they're going to make a push from the back here. We already see a lot of the attackers, especially Thermite down there. Let's take a look over at Thermite, who's down here by the bottom of the tower, probably going to push in from the construction entrance after he makes sure it's all clear. Renshiro, I believe, has already droned it out, or at least one of his teammates has, so he's going to push in here in just a moment.
You know, this is really interesting, what we're seeing from Yunktis here. They're applying a lot of aggression to the watchtower, and it's interesting to see because, for the most part, when I played Oregon, and I don't have a whole lot of experience on Oregon, but when I've played it, the watchtower isn't usually the most important thing that you need to be taking, and they're applying almost all of their focus to it.
We can see Doc still twitching at the feet of Spoken. Hilarious going on right now. So, Spoken got this kill on Doc with that incendiary arrow. I believe Doc was underneath of that generator trying to get that little pixel angle.
Yeah.
And he paid the price for it because it was just expected.
Yeah, no, definitely. That angle is, obviously, like you said, it's expected. It's very common. There's pretty much no way to retaliate to it with bullets.
Spoken knows Narco's here. Goes for the incendiary, but it doesn't click.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at it from Narco's point of view. Renshiro spots her out.
Well, it's plenty bright.
Plenty bright in there. So Narco's going to try to make a push upwards. Spots Buck and decides he's going to retreat down. Now he's stuck here. He cannot get to the left. The door's reinforced. Nade goes down, hurts him down to about 60 health, but that opens up the box that he was hiding behind. And with that, let's see what happens. Falco's still in meeting hall now. He's rotated over. Let's take a look at Spoken. Spoken's going to have to make this push in. Goes for it. And Valkyrie turns at the wrong second. Spoken picks up the double kill for the round now. And he's going to try to make a push now as Thermite opens up the wall into that box.
Spoken's pretty much debunked this whole side of the map right now, just solo.
Yeah, and so with that, I believe it was Castle was able to pick up the kill onto Yogurts. Nade goes in, smokes go out. And Six is going to try to smoke off as much of that hallway as possible so Spoken can come around. Second gas grenade goes out. Marabou, though, picks up Spoken, says you've had enough kills for the day. And Reaps is over here inside of the laundry room pushing down through the smoke, but Blackbeard is there to get the shots and just blind fires right through the smoke to pick him up. Marabou's right on the other side of the supply closet, looking for the push in from Box. He spots Thurman, he downs him and kills him with the smoke. Chaos still inside the kitchen, got to go for the flank because there's only two defenders or two attackers left alive. We've got Renshiro, who has been managed to get inside the bomb site, plants the diffuser, tries to anyways. Falco, though, comes up from behind and gets the shots on the Marabou.
And some spam coming up from Falco. Yeah, no, Marabou was definitely pretty much trying to put reform on the like what they did on that last defense.
Yeah.
It didn't work out this time, obviously, and it ended up costing them. But he did have that really nice solo defense, pretty much on the basement from the last construction take, and it almost just barely didn't get it again. It was pretty close.
It was very close. I actually thought when we saw, I believe it was Castle still inside the kitchen, and we saw Buck. Buck was in meeting hall. I thought he had already dropped it, was coming down the red stairs or red tower. I thought it was Castle that got the kill, not the other way around.
Yeah.
So unfortunately for Yunktis, unfortunately for unKnights, Yunktis wins that map. We're back here, ready to start the second map in just a few moments. We will have to cut to a short commercial break because due to the rehost at the earlier part of this matchup, we didn't finish on 5.
But I think we're going to be seeing some highlights.
We are. So before we go to a commercial break, let's take a look at some of the highlights from this past round against Yunktis and unKnights here on Oregon. So here we have it. 6 square moving on in, picks up the double kill for the round there. And Chaos, just picks him off there. And that was where I believe we had Valkyrie come in from behind and finish off the attackers.
I thought it was Chaos who finished that round.
Potentially.
This round in particular right here from Falco was really impressive. That C4 kill in of itself, yeah, sure, that was cool. But it was the way he did the mind games on the enemy. He got that C4 kill, he made his presence known in tower, and then he ran to the other side of the map and got another kill. It was beautiful.
Definitely.
And there's that solo round from Marabou.
Yes,
Beautiful.
the 4K from Marabou. Or 3 or 4K, but there, it was just amazing.
Either which way about it, he held that site pretty much just by himself.
You also had Renshiro's 4K at that top on site playing Blackbeard, so this is just tremendous gameplay. This is those 2 instant kills from Renshiro, and later on in this same round, he picks up the final 2 kills.
And you gotta wonder what that Jaeger was thinking. Oh, my teammate just died, better run over there.
Yes, and so Narcos, this is his 1 kill on the map where the round where they got annihilated. But
oh, just looked away at the wrong time from Narco.
yeah, and so here's the final shot from Marabou.
He tried, man. He tried. He almost got that round. If he had just one more smoke.
One more smoke would have done it. But unfortunately, it goes in favor of Yunktis. So with that, guys, we're going to cut to a short break as we get the teams back in here for the second matchup, which is going to be on, I'm sorry, not Favela. It's Favela, Oregon, or Clubhouse. It's going to be Clubhouse.
Clubhouse.
So Clubhouse is the map that Yunktis has won at LAN.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic at that map.
They won against the semifinals and in the finals to just make themselves the world champs for Season 2. So stick around, guys. We're going to be right back as we get into that map, the map that Yunktis has chosen for the map today. Stick around. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the fourth Playday for the European PC Pro League here on Rainbow Six. Now, we just watched the conclusion of the map on Oregon between Yunktis and unKnights. We're about to get underway for the second map, which is going to be played on Clubhouse. Now, right before the break, we talked a little bit about how this is Yunktis' map. They chose it. They feel at home with this map.
Yeah. So, okay, Yunktis, right? What are they? They're a really strat-based team. Clubhouse, what is it? It's a strat-based map. It's so incredibly strat-based. Even on the upstairs defense, which a lot of people disregard as just being, kind of open and, you can do whatever you want, just kind of play it like ranked. No. Bar and basement both are extremely strat-based. There's a whole lot of factors to consider on bar, for example. Are we going to be attacking the pool table side? Are we going to be attacking the stock room side? Where are we going to go with our attack? Are we going to take upstairs first? What's the plan here?
Yeah.
And, that really kind of falls into Yunktis' criteria. That's sort of what they're used to doing, what they're good at doing, and I honestly expect to see a pretty good game coming out from Yunktis.
Yeah, and so we are waiting on just a little bit more players to enter into the lobby here, but we talked a lot about the bomb sites on Oregon. Haven't talked too much about the ones on Clubhouse. There are 4.
Yeah.
2 of which we're going to see, not the other 2.
Yeah,
What are those 2?
So, like you said, the ones that we're not going to be seeing, there are just 2 sites that nobody defends. It's interesting is what we were talking about the meta earlier. When it comes to bomb sites, you can pretty much throw anything at someone, and as long as they don't know how to play with it, theoretically, if you do it right,
If you can throw a curveball, you can get the upper hand.
Right, but nobody ever does that on Clubhouse. You always see bar and basement. It's kind of the same as Oregon, I guess. But the difference is, I guess, between the maps fundamentally is that Oregon's a little bit more loose. Clubhouse is a little bit more strict. On the basement, you've got different ways that you can attack it. For, let's say, all right, so you're coming at it from, you can come at it for blue room, you can come at it from the tunnel. You can come at it you can go for the moto drop, you can try to open up the church wall, play it from stairs with the Blackbeard. There's a whole lot of different options, a whole lot of different ways you can do it. You can try to attack kitchen.
Yeah.
But, people tend to mix it up. The meta changes, obviously, from what last time I got to play it, it was the common meta was play it from the construction tunnel with a Blackbeard, try to apply some pressure, deny the angles that they can use to deny, the defenders can use to deny blue room, and open up the blue room drop, come in that way, and then try to either go into church or go into armory, either which way about it. But that's the last time I played it, so that was a while ago. One of the older metas is you'll try to get open the moto drop, and then you'll try to play it. You'll put a Blackbeard on the bottom of the stairs, and you'll just try to apply pressure to the hallway, deny the rotates, move your way in through moto, and get the bomb plant in church.
Now, do you think, having played Yunktis again on Clubhouse against them, do you think we should expect to see some of the same style strats, or do you think they've gone back to the drawing board and said, look, we're going to change it up. We know there's different ops. We know there's different meta now. Let's change up the strategy drastically. From a defensive side of
From a defensive side, or even an offensive side, just blanket statement Yunktis. If you're talking about Yunktis, when it comes to Yunktis, they're great because they have set strats for everything. So they go in and they try to figure out exactly the way every different team, they study the enemy team, and then they figure out, okay, they tend to attack like this, they tend to attack like that, and these are all the different ways that they can do it. So okay, let's make up a counter strat for each and every one of those different ways. For example, when my team played against Yunktis in the World Finals last season, we saw them play against Flipside. Now, Flipside uses, at the time, was using a lot of the same strats that we were using because we were practicing going into that together a lot. And what happened is Yunktis, they faltered a lot on playing against the way we played that basement on Clubhouse. They faltered going against Flipside. They were like, okay, we don't know how to handle this necessarily. But they figured it out. They won in the end, and they figured it out. And coming up against us, we were playing the same way they were.
They kind of got the upper hand already.
They knew exactly what they were doing. So that's the thing coming from Yunktis is they are really adaptive. They'll figure it out. In the middle of a game, they will figure out, okay, this is how you're defending it. This is how you're attacking it. Well, okay, we're going to go ahead and do this, and this to counteract exactly what you're doing.
And I think that's kind of where you, I think that's where the team, a great team, will come into play, and they'll be able to adapt, like you said.
Definitely. They're
very adaptive. If their in-game leader needs to be able to identify the strats and identify the way to counteract the strats that are going up against them.
Definitely.
So with that, guys, we do have everyone in lobby. Map is on Clubhouse. Let's start it off with everyone here. And the second map between Yunktis and unKnights, which is today on Clubhouse.
Yeah, like we were talking about earlier, it's a pretty cut and dry map, very strat-based. Again, kind of Yunktis' deal. I want to see how unKnights is going to handle this. I really want to see how they're going to handle this because Oregon was a little bit more in their favor. Let's be honest. Oregon's an open map. There are a lot of different little nooks and crannies you can hide in. Whereas coming into coming into Clubhouse, it's like ones and zeros. It's this is gonna happen or it's not gonna happen, and it's pretty much the whole thing revolves around that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times, I think sometimes people try to make a comparison between Oregon and Clubhouse in the fact that they're very stretched out in a horizontal manner.
I guess.
But Oregon seems to have more opportunities for roamers and for lurkers than Clubhouse.
Definitely. I mean, when it comes to Oregon, you've got how many sets of stairs? You got 3 sets of stairs, and you've got just a lot, just honestly, just a lot more options. Like
Yeah.
there's the ladder leading up to Skybridge, but from Skybridge, where can you go? Well, you can go to this end of the map or that end of the map, and you can open up those walls. You know, there's a lot of different options. Whereas on Clubhouse, there's this
2
hallway.
towers. You have got you've got either like the cash room
Yeah.
or you've got the master bedroom. They don't connect easily.
And they're pretty easy to cut off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, let's see how they handle this on basement defense.
Yeah. So basement defense, given. It's
Right.
a given.
Obviously.
Even unKnights, who decided they were going to go with the second, quote-unquote, second bomb
Right.
site last time, is going to go with the first bomb site choice of the basement and the arsenal room.
I think of every map that is regularly played, Clubhouse is the most cut and dry. We will defend this one site first.
Yeah.
Period. End of story. Full stop. I don't know a team that tries to go bar first.
Yeah. Nor do I. And so, as we talked about just a few moments ago, this is not a roamer/lurker friendly map.
No.
And this is exactly what we're expecting to see here. Everyone's back on site. They're going to
Yeah.
be playing in church and arsenal room and inside the generator hall.
You know, what we saw from them defending on the basement on Clubhouse, that makes a whole lot of sense. There's a whole lot of reasons why roaming heavy upstairs or on the basement for Clubhouse makes just like you can do things with that. You can retreat. There are options. When it comes to Clubhouse, you're pretty much there's no options. I mean, where are you going to fall back? Everything is cut off. You can cut off pretty much every retreat with very little effort at all. From the outside of the building, you can cut off the garage retreat from the outside, opening up that garage wall or the door. You can cut off the retreat on the other end of the map on the stairs, just going up to the door next to the kitchen, holding that hallway. You know, you can't roam on basement Clubhouse. You just can't, and it's unfortunate to see, but there it is.
Yeah, and so with that, we are going to get underway here in the attack phase. Over a minute has started, and the attackers are getting in line now. They're droning out what they need to, getting as much information as possible. And we see Renshiro coming around the back towards the garage drop. He's just going to make his way in here. Spoken's already droning it out for him. Calls out the frost trap, most likely. Calls out all the barbed wire. Doesn't spot anyone just yet, but if he does, he might just say shoot through the wall because Jaeger just opened up the door towards the closet. But the drone Spoken will see Chili playing Frost. So with that, now Falco's also droning out the motorcycle drop hatch. The nade from Spoken, though,
Wow.
gets Chili. I'm not quite sure Chili was expecting that, as he did just retreat from the garage hall and try to get into the church. But great nade from up top.
Yeah, you can see what they're trying to do here. They're trying to, all right, this is your typical, this is the new meta. This is what most people are doing nowadays. They're trying to debunk blue.
Yeah, and so if we watch Yogurts is the one getting all the intel. He calls out one inside of the construction hall. He's going to call out 2 inside of the church. He spotted Valkyrie, spotted Jaeger, and now he's also spotted Castle, it appears. So, last one alive is going to, or last one unknown is going to be Castle. Now, Castle's over here inside of the arsenal room. He sees Buck.
Oh.
Buck opens it up at the wrong time, and Marabou picks up the shots onto Falco. So, Yogurt's making his way down the garage hall, and Renshiro, though, laying down some suppressing fire, picks up Chaos. And now there's 2 inside of the garage tunnel. 3 now, as Sledge made his way in behind the rest. It's all up to Thermite, who's down here in the hallway. Marabou is able to pick up 1 shot on the Spoken. Now, Spoken got a nade kill earlier, but he won't be getting any more. 30 seconds left to go. It's a 3-on-3. They're going to make a push into Arsenal Room. There's no valid openings just yet into Church. And with that C4, it's now going to be all up to Thermite and Blackbeard. Blackbeard's still inside the hall. Thermite is looking through, sees the gun of Jaeger, but can't do anything about it. 15 seconds left to go. He's going to have to get the defuse down. But we have Valkyrie right on the other side. Renshiro picks up 1. Goes for the second kill here by 6. He goes, sees him, doesn't get the shots, and Marabou picks up 1, and Narco picks up the other.
Looked like a lot of bad timing coming out from Yunktis there. Looked like what they were trying to do seemed like they were trying to apply pressure to blue, giving themselves the advantage in church. to try and move in through Moto and get the plant down. That's the typical take. Makes a lot of sense. But the timing was just off. They got the early nade kill to debunk Blue, which was huge, and then Renshiro got 2 picks. That's again huge. So Blue was working out, but the guys coming out from Moto just didn't have enough utility to get through. I think honestly came down to that barbed wire.
Yeah.
You got to get utility down on that barbed wire. You got to throw your nades. You got to use your ash charges. Whatever you have at your disposal, you have to get rid of barbed wire. Otherwise, you're not going to get into the site.
Yeah, and I think at least from like we talked about how Renshiro was able to pick up 2 in that garage hall. To me, after he got those 2 kills, it felt crowded down there. You had Sledge, Capitel, and Blackbeard.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I saw at one point we were watching Blackbeard. He's looking into church, and in the same line of sight was Capital crossfiring into the Arsenal room. And to me, it looked just very claustrophobic.
No, you're definitely right. No, you only need to play one person in Blue. You only need one guy over there. As long as he. So after they got that nade kill, what should have happened is Renshiro should have hauled his butt down all the way into Blue, tried to get up position there, did what he, continue doing what he did and actually doing, blah, blah, blah. Do what he did, and then have everybody else kind of move around to the Moto side, move around to the stair side, and start applying pressure to Moto, because that's pretty much where the contention is. That's where most of the problems are going to arise. That's where you're going to lose players. And Blue Room is kind of controllable from one person, like you said.
Yeah, I was just taking a look at this wall. Luckily, Yogurts is the guy to get it. That would have been very disastrous had the defenders not gotten that wall reinforced.
That's something to note about the basement defense is there is so much to set up. Especially as a Jaeger, you've got 2 barbed wire, you've got 3 Jaeger devices, and then you've got to go ahead and reinforce 2 walls. Well, yeah, you're gonna.
Right there's like 45 seconds right off the clock, and that doesn't include the running in between the sites.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff you got to do, especially on a basement clubhouse.
And so with that, we can see Reaps being very particular with his droning, going all the way around the bar site, and spots nobody.
Pretty much what tends to happen here on an attack for basement is the attackers will drone out the entire map. They'll go and they will find if you are hiding anywhere, because if you're going to roam on basement clubhouse, you're going to be hiding in a corner like that nobody expects you to be hiding. And it really comes down to how lazy a team is and whether or not they're going to put in the time to try and find you.
Ooh, Reaps' nade doesn't go all the way down, gets stuck on the floor, hurts him. And that second nade also doesn't do the trick. Valkyrie went over to investigate, but decided better and went back from underneath of that hole.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty scary. You got a buck. He's open up the floor. He's like, oh, I'll just toss my grenades in here. I wonder if they had a drone in the site for that.
Potentially, but possibly. But Castle's wall inside the garage hall will be destroyed, as I believe it is Ash working her way down there. No, Ash is on the other side, already down at the bottom of the main stairs. Falco, though, is able to C4 Narco from underneath. Thermite, oh man, he could have been used to get those walls open, but I think the drop hatches were successfully opened. So, fortunately for the attackers, they still have some additional avenues, but Chili looking for the shots. Not going to see anyone just yet. 6, we can see him on the other side of the wall, but Chili does not. Shield is up in arms here for his gun. Tries to destroy the barbed wire and will do so. Looking over here, I believe that was Castle about to get some shots onto him. Ooh, but he peeks and Chaos is there to pick up the head as it comes around the corner. Valkyrie is still getting some more intel as well as Falco for his teammate. Now Yogurt's cam right here is going to give us great intel on where Blackbeard is going to be pushing from. 6, though, it doesn't get a chance to pick up Capital. Marabou managed to make his way in, gets a double kill. Reaps also picked up Falco. It's now all up to Yogurts. Yogurts is stuck right inside a church, just holding one angle. He's got so many places to look and 4 attackers to kill. 20 seconds left to go. The diffuser, though, is in the hands of nobody, and it's going to have to be Yogurts to secure all 4 kills if you want to win. 10 seconds left to go. Ash is going to have to make a push in, tries to get the shots on the Yogurt, misses, and it's going to be Yogurts getting the double kill and the clutch.
Well, I think that was a triple from Yogurt.
Yes, triple. I'm sorry, yes, triple. Double kill at the very end there. He downed 1, picked up the kill, and then killed Ash right there. 6 apparently had also downed 1 and gotten the kill.
Yogurts absolutely just freaking stole that round away from unKnights. Just like, no, it's mine, sorry. You can't have it.
A 1v4 clutch there, ladies and gentlemen, with Yogurts at the helm.
Wow, that was pretty impressive. What happened there? Honestly, the attackers had that round.
They did.
They did. They pushed in through blue. They had Capital saw his opening. He went for it. He pushed in. He got 2 picks, and it was secure. It was over. It was theirs. And then just not sure why, but they all pushed one by one to try and get Yogurts. And didn't give themselves any opportunities to trade each other.
Yeah. And
One person died, next person comes in, he dies, next
Yep.
person comes in.
It was just one after one after one, and if you lurk often, you roam often, you know that those one-on-one fights is more favorable to you than a one-on-4 fight.
Absolutely, yeah.
So definitely that's what Yogurts was looking for, that's what he got, and that's what he was able to win with.
Well, honestly, that was entirely handed to him. Like, I mean,
Yes.
he wasn't doing any maneuvering, he wasn't doing anything special. He was playing in a corner with a gun, and he shot people as they appeared. You know, and it was impressive aim. It was very good from Yogurts. But unKnights, it just disappointing, honestly.
Yes. Yeah. It did come down to a little bit of, all right, let's kind of rethink that.
You know, it's that sort of thing where you get into the mentality. I was talking about earlier with Yunktis on Clubhouse, or not Clubhouse, Oregon rather. And you get into the mentality where what they didn't do is they got those 2 picks right early from Blackbeard. What did they do? They kept playing the round normal. They kept playing it slow. They took their time. They're like, okay, we still have these. We saw in this last round they had 10 seconds left. They could have taken their time, regrouped, and pushed together as a team. And they would have won that round. And that's what Yunktis does. That's what ended up not happening for unKnights.
Yeah, and what would have liked to have seen, and maybe unKnights is going to go back to the drawing board after that, is figure out why the one person traveling by himself had the diffuser. Because he's the one that died.
Yeah.
Diffuser was nowhere to be found for the other attackers.
Absolutely. That's another thing is they could have just planted an armory.
Yeah, but I mean, it was killed by. It was not on anyone. The one defender, the one attacker that was killed, that was traveling by himself, was holding.
Oh
it.
yeah, no, you're
So
right. Yeah.
it's going to be. They had to go back to the drawing board and say, all right, we need to figure out who's going to be holding that diffuser, who's going to be pushing, and what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Now, here is Six and Capital trying to push inside the gym and the master bedroom. They were able to successfully secure it. It looks as though they droned it out. They know it's all clear. And Yogurt's looking to make sure no one's going to come up the stairs. I like this angle he's holding. I keep going back to it because this is going to be how they secure that top floor.
It's a pretty easy angle to hold, and you pretty much, like you said, you deny any access to the defenders of the top floor. All it takes is one person, and you need to do it. You need to do it because if you're going for a pool take, which they are, you have to have a control above pool table.
All right, and with that, we are just at the halfway mark for the attack phase. Now, it looks as though Capital got into a little bit of damage, and Chili's able to get a couple bullets, not too much, onto Buck, but enough to scare him and force him over here. Now, Spoken uses his incendiary arrows. He has downed Chaos, but hasn't gotten the final kill on him just yet. You know, he's going to get in the way. It might be if if Spoken takes another look, but he won't. But Six will retire him. So there it is, Six picking up the kill into Chaos after he was down by Spoken. That's going to be nice, some nice trades. They've gotten up the pool table drop hatch. They're now getting up the stripper hall. But Yogurts manages to get Reaps. Narco, though, trading it off onto Yogurt. So with that, it's a 3-on-4, 35 seconds left to go. Falco's still outside of the pool table window. Renshiro down in the western hallway, right on the other side of the pool table. And Spoken's trying to hold that drop hatch. Six is going to have Diffuser. He's going to be going towards the pool table. Renshiro, though, picking up a massive kill onto Marabou. Now Narco's trying to come up from the flank from behind. Although he was only downstairs, he's now coming into the kitchen hallway. Spots one, but doesn't get the shots. The nade or the C4 from Chili manages to get Six, but Falco leaps on over with his pistol and domes Chili with the gun.
That was a double pistol headshot. Look at that. That was a beautiful shot from Falco.
Yes, very nice, very nice. So he got one, picked up two right there at the very end.
Yeah, that attack was pretty, you know, what you would expect. They took above. They have control now. Okay, they throw down the smokes. They go for the plant. And they just get the picks as the defenders attempt to stop the plant because there's not a whole lot you can do as a defender there. You can try to smoke it, you can try to C4 it, but all in all, there aren't a lot of options, and we're talking about a bar defense here. You know, this is what we expect to see.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, there's only two pushes for a bar hold. It's either going to be through garage and stockroom into the plant on stock, or top floor and gym and pool table. There's not too much flexibility with this particular bomb site.
Well, I think you have flexibility. You have options. It's just
What's really going to work?
Yeah, no. There's no reason not to just attack stock or just do attack pool because it's you know how you're gonna win it, and it's not hard at all.
Yeah, it's a they're both of these bomb sites are secluded in a sense, meaning there's not much room for flanking. like there would be on an Oregon.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. If, for example, let's say you're doing a stock, since we have the up-down from now. Say you're doing a stock room attack. You cut off the garage side, and you go ahead and where are they going to come from? Where are they going to flank you? They can't.
Yeah.
Like, you just push into the site, you take above, and you have control of that entire side of the map now.
Yeah, unless you're planning for the flank, where you might open up a window from the CCTV room.
Absolutely.
And then the wall from master bedroom. That'll allow you the 1.5 seconds to get across unnoticed.
Yeah.
But when you do that, they're going to notice that right away, and they're going to be looking for it.
Whoa, a trade.
Trade off from Spoken and Marabou right at the start. Capitan with Smoke. Now, to me, I see that as an even trade-off. I see those operators as
Definitely.
even.
No, operator-wise, I'd say that's a lot of utility gone for both teams. Obviously, yeah, pretty much the most two of the most versatile operators on each side.
Yeah, and so we have here Reaps trying to take over the gym. He's managed to open up the floor. We'll throw a nade in, though, and he's going to retreat over to another location. But Narco over here inside of the stripper hall picks up the shots onto Yogurt. Now it's a 4-3, 2 minutes left to go. Plenty of time to formulate a strategy from defense and from offense. There's still anyone's game here.
It looks like we're pretty much seeing the same exact attack coming up from unKnights here.
Very similar, yes, very similar. And Chaos is going to finish droning out the top floor. But Reaps is able to pick up 6. And with that, I mean, we've seen the 1-4 clutch from Yunktis before, but not quite sure it can happen on this bomb site. We'll have to stay tuned and see. Falco's outside right in the kitchen hall waiting for the drop. I believe that is Buck right above him, waiting for this drop. Not going to catch him, though, as he rotates around. Renshiro's inside of A bomb site, looking at those main stairs. Chaos is going to come down with his drone. He will spot Renshiro. Buck is trying to cause some havoc right above. I don't think Renshiro actually saw it. A couple ghost shots going to Stripper Hall. Bullets go down from Buck. Let's take another quick look at him. Tries to throw the nade. Renshiro just misses, and it will be picked off, though. Renshiro picking up 1 kill before he's finished off by Narco. It's now all to Falco, who picks off 1. He's moving on over, sees Buck, and at this point in time, he might just decide to rotate around. I think he might actually try to fight it, though. He's just going to stay right here. 50 seconds left to go. It's all up to Thermite and Buck. Now, Buck was able to rotate out without getting detected, but Falco will have much more trouble. He's looking for him, doesn't spot him. And seeing as how the drop hatch is still reinforced, I mean, it's going to be very tough for Falco to do anything up there.
If I had to pick a player to be in this position with Pulse, I'd pick Falco.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's able to get the intel. Now, luckily for Falco, this door is open, but I don't think the door, I don't think the other one is.
No, Falco.
He tries to get some intel as much as possible. Falco doesn't spot anyone, but the diffuser does get planted, and he's going to have to push on in. He spots Buck, decides he's going to rotate around. Is Thermite going to make the push? No, he's going to play it casual and push on back. And now Reeves is just going to finish droning out. He's got a nice cam in there for his team to watch. And there comes the push from the kitchen window, or the pool table window. Falco picks off 1. Still time to clutch this here. He's going to have to go off on the Narc. Narc's now inside, I believe. Actually, he might be outside here. He's outside, going to try to go
They have
up.
a camera on him.
They do. So Falco's here with 1 health and a dream. Now the cam gets destroyed. Almost done at the time, and it's going to be Narc picking up the shots on the Falco.
Wow, that was...
It was the correct move, just not enough health to execute it.
Well, it looked like it was a headshot from Thermite, but either which way about it, basically that just came down to Falco losing the engagement there. He should have been getting enough info from his team to know, just pre-fire this corner. Come around, pre-fire. Honestly, I feel like if he had an ACOG there, he might have been able to get more a better sight on the head, because it looked like he was just a little bit to the left there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think maybe, like you said, pre-fire and do a long peek could have possibly been the option.
Maybe.
It could have also been do a quick shoulder peek, because you've got
Either
that peeker's
way.
advantage to come back. Plus, you're only half a second out of the door, so doing that quick shoulder peek isn't going to alert him just yet. But either way, it did not go in favor of the defenders there.
It was a really good try from Falco, though.
It was, and it came down to, like we were talking about, with a gunfight.
Yeah, and rounds like that, that was a bar defense. I mean, you're not expecting to win that as a defender, and that's we talked about it when it comes down to this map. It's all about who wins the rounds that you're not expecting to win, like the bar defense or the attack on basement. That's what switches it up. Otherwise, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna see overtime, and the person who gets the favorable rounds in overtime will probably take the map.
Yeah, and as you said, it's who can win the maps that they aren't supposed to win.
Yeah.
And in this case, when you're bottom bomb site, you're supposed to win defense. When you're top bomb site inside a bar, you're supposed to win attack. And that's kind of how the flip-flop goes. And so whoever can execute it differently will most likely get the upper hand here.
It's weird to say because as a professional player or having an ex-professional player, you don't think about this at all. But looking at it now, I would like to see from some team, not sure if it's going to be today, I seriously doubt it, honestly. I would like to see someone try to switch it up and try to hold one of the other bomb sites on this map.
Yeah, so on most of the maps, not every map, but most maps, there's 2 standard bomb sites.
Right,
now,
of course.
We've seen a couple teams here on PC as well as Xbox try to push the limit and change the meta on one map in particular, and that's Chalet. We've seen some teams try to go with that top floor bomb site, and I'm hoping that we can see a little bit more of that adventurous mentality.
Yeah.
We'll call it onto some other bomb sites.
I mean, you can pretty much do the same thing on this map on Cache, so
Yeah.
you can play the whole thing from underneath, but it's different. I don't know. Anyway, moving into this round.
Ooh, good Valcam by Narco. He spots Thermite coming on into the kitchen hallway, and Narc is able to get the C4 off just in time and finishes him off. Tremendous job there. Great placement, great cam. Got them the kill that they needed.
There's a lot of teams who will do cameras like that in the hallway, put some C4 there preemptively, and just wait. Just wait. I mean, why not, right? They have to go. They have to go there. They don't really have any options. And a lot of teams these days, like for example, Yunktis right now, they don't run Thatcher.
Yep. Very casually running across the hole, though.
I mean, you gotta assume there's nobody playing in the hallway.
Yeah. That, and you have to assume that there's not another C4.
Yeah, hopefully.
But with that, I see as though Buck is going to finish opening up as the majority of the kitchen drop hatch, or kitchen floor. However, unfortunately for the defenders, Marabou gets disconnected and they have to leave the game. It's just as good as a kill here for unKnights. Now, looking at all the defenders, we see 2 inside of Church. Looks as though one's inside the generator hall and one's inside of Arsenal room. So just give a quick look at the push here. We see 2 dropping in 3 inside of the motorcycle hallway. Jokic picks up 1, Ranchero picks off the other, and Jokic pick off a second kill. It's now all up to Chili. Chili's coming in from Arsenal room, and Ranchero's trying to look for the shots, uses his pistol, and 1-deegs Chili.
That was a beautiful
I'm hoping
round.
that was a 1-deeg. I called it. I'm hoping it was a 1-deeg. We'll have to see. He goes for the shots. Oh, no. It was a 3-deeg, unfortunately.
So that was a really good round from Yunktis. What happened there is, well, their Moto guys didn't falter this time. They won their engagements, they got the good push in, and they came in all at once. Good timing.
They did. Very good timing, good coordination. Plus, they weren't jammed like we saw in Blue Hall before.
I think we're going to have to...
We might have to rehost if
Oh,
Marabou
he
doesn't get
made
back
it.
in time, but he is here. So with 10 seconds left to spare, he's able to pick his operator. He's trying to say, you know what, viewers, we know you don't like the disconnects. We know you don't like the commercials and the breaks. I'll spare you this one, and I'll come back just in time.
Marabou with the clutch.
All hail Marabou here for this round. But with that,
We're going to be going into a defense for Yunktis. Now, that was the round that we've
Yes.
been talking about this whole time. They won that attack on basement. Obviously, there was a disconnect, but they still won it. Now we're going into a basement defense for Yunktis. Now, that puts them in a big advantage. That's putting them at probably 4-2.
yep.
And it's it means that unKnights, they have to really pull out all the stops to bring this back.
I will say, though, that unKnights is putting up a very good fight for being their first appearance here in the Pro League.
Oh, definitely.
Against the world
Definitely.
leaders from Season 2.
And I was talking about earlier at the beginning of the stream, unpredictability and how I think they could, hopefully utilize that in their favor. But they're not. They're not using unpredictability. They're playing it the same way, pretty much, that Yunktis is playing it.
Yeah. And I think unKnights is holding up their end of the bargain when it comes to the gunfights. I mean, we saw the fight right at the very end on the bar hold. Thermite was able to pick off Pulse it was that came out with 1 health. But it was still a headshot, so regardless of his health, he was dead.
Yeah. unKnights definitely putting up a fight here.
All right, and so we're going to get underway in the attack phase. One more Valcam being placed. Now there's 1 left in Ranchero's arsenal, but I'm not quite sure where he's going to place it. I don't think Yunktis is going to go for the same maneuver that was pulled against them with that C4 underneath the kitchen hallway. Just maybe. We'll have to stay tuned and see if that's going to kill off any of the attackers.
You know, that's an interesting crawl hole they've got going on right there, because most teams, what they'll do is they'll try and put it closer to the armory wall. The reason for that is if you, for example, get Moto drop open, you put an attacker in Moto, you pretty much cut off that crouch hole. That's unusable now. And yeah, sure, you'll put murder holes for the guys in blue to try and stop Moto, but that kind of restricts the guys in blue to retreating to armory. Then they can't retreat to church.
Yeah, and looking at the attackers here, we are seeing, again, just droning out, getting as much intel and clearing out as much of the top floor as possible.
It is commonplace, like we said earlier, no roamers on this defense side. It just, you gotta check.
But here we have Reaps using a little bit better nade placement. Will throw one down and just barely misses Six. Six tries to get a couple shots off, doesn't land any of them, and the nade barely misses him just as much. So, looking here, where's Thermite trying to go? He's going to get the stock drop open, which is going to be inside of that generator hallway, that garage hallway, right where we saw Capital get a nade kill earlier in the game. Now, it looks as though he was able to also get open the Moto drop from bar down into that motorcycle hallway.
Those are pretty much the typical drops that we expect to see open in this current meta. And, you know, again, what you're doing, you're pressuring blue, you're getting into blue, you're having control of blue, and then you're pressuring church from blue. And then once church is pressured, the guys come in through Moto and kind of take church, clear the site, and get the bomb plant.
Yeah, and so Chaos is holding this very tight angle from the church doorway, and as I say that, he backs off of it. He's going to throw a smoke, though, and now he's got plenty of room to run in, but let's take a quick look at Pulse. So Pulse is over here with his heartbeat sensor out, getting as much intel. Calls one at the bottom of the main stairs, calls one inside the garage hall, calls probably one at the motorcycle drop hatch. He's getting plenty of information for his team so they can set up for the correct angles as we get underway here with 45 seconds left to go, a 5-on-5 at the moment. Looking here at Reaps, he's again just trying to lay a little bit more distraction from the kitchen floor. Narco and Chaos are going to make a push in here very shortly. We see Capital, who dropped, was injured, not killed off just yet. Blackbeard trying to make a push in as well. He's going to turn his head left. Is he going to be killed off, though, from the right side? Nope, Six is there. But Ranchero picks up the double kill with a shotgun. Yogurt picks up a second or third kill, and Spoken will pick up the fourth. It's now all up to Blackbeard inside of red. He picks off one, goes in through the crawl hole into church, but he will be killed off by Yogurts, who's playing Jaeger.
You know, I want to make some, strat analysis on this map. I want to look at it and be like, okay, this happened, this happened, this happened. But basically all that's happening here is what you expect on a clubhouse basement defense. I mean, it's pretty systematic. There's not a whole lot going on. The Capital tried to drop. He got picked off by the guy holding it in armory. The Blackbeard didn't get enough pressure into the guys on church. Thus, their Moto guys had to deal with a shotgun close to the door. There's not a whole lot to say. It just kind of just happened the way it happened. There's not clubhouse is ones and zeros.
Yeah, and like you had said, or like you had predicted, Yunktis winning that defensive.
Yeah, as you expect.
Defensive map. So with that, Yunktis goes into match point. If they secure this, they will take all 3 points for today's matchup.
Yep. And
secure their first place position at the moment.
Yeah, no, I'd like to see. I mean, unKnights, they have a chance here. What are they defending? They're defending basement. They can bring it to 3-4 and then win the next attack. They're going to be attacking bar, so they can bring it to 4-4, and anything's possible.
Yep, definitely. And so defensive round, prep phase. Typical reinforcements. Again, I think they're going with the same strats, cut and dry, cookie cutter. Here's what we're doing.
Yeah, no, it's all kind of like you said, cut and dry, copy pasta. But like I said earlier, I would like to see from some team. Obviously, I wouldn't forego defending basement. I would like to see from some team, maybe instead of bar, try and defend cash. I don't know. Try and mix it up. Try to create a different strat. Obviously, these guys don't have one for now, but maybe in the future.
Yeah, and hopefully, I think kind of what's happening to this map is what happened to Chalet during Season 1. It was very cookie cutter Season 1. Chalet was played a lot for PC to the point where they were forced to try and find additional strats, additional maneuvers for it. And I think that's what might pop out of the overuse of this map.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, the difference between this map and Chalet is Chalet was cookie cutter because of people imagining things, people imagining barriers that didn't exist. For example, in Chalet, you can open up the entire lobby floor and see pretty much the whole basement.
Yeah.
You can do the same thing in a lot of different parts of the map. And like you said, there are teams who defend Master now from underneath with that C4. Whereas this map on basement, there's
Well, what can
Nope.
you play vertical? Nothing really, except
The
the
kitchen?
hallway. That opened up a little bit. I mean, that was a little different. People didn't used to do that, or the kitchen hallway.
Yeah.
Kitchen drop was typically trying to get opened, but kitchen hallway to look at the main hall, that got opened up. Starting season 2, but other than that, there's not been much change.
Yeah. And wow, okay, half the round already gone. Not a whole lot going on so far. They're taking it nice and slow on offense.
They are, and so it's going to come down to a gunfight here at the very end. But Chili's actually at a nice angle, except for he is exposed from the garage hall. If that door was closed, it was castled off or whatnot, he would be sitting very nicely, looking down that main hall towards those back stairs. But as I say that, he's going to turn angles, look down the hallway, right into Blackbeard's sights, if he can get that pixel peek. Now, 60 seconds left to go. Reeps is going to be inside of the arsenal room, staring at a wall, waiting for the wall bang. He's going to wait to hear the drop, and he's just going to light that wall up. But Blackbeard's able to pick up the shots onto smoke. It's going to be a nice push. Ranchero picks up a double kill, and now it's the heavy push inside of church. And is there going to be a team kill? No, because Spoken drops and picks him off through the floor, or through the minibar. Chaos, though, trying to do his own damage by picking off Spoken. It's now all up to Chaos as Chili dies, but Falco is able to pick off Chaos for the win. All 3 points for Yunktis.
And that's, again, they won the round that they're not supposed to win, and it came down to, again, Renshiro in that blue hallway.
Yep.
Pretty much laying down the law with Blackbeard there. Not a whole lot you can do to stop him. I would have probably liked to see more murder holes coming in the armory. I think, honestly, if I were unKnights, if I wanted to win that basement round, okay, how did I lose it last time? Renshiro. He came from blue. What am I going to do? I'm going to open up murder holes in the armory wall. I'm going to try and deny them that access point.